and they're basically saying that
Oh, I
Antonio
never
Brown
heard.
was the big winner here. The Raiders are the big winner. Congrats. We'll see about that.
Yeah,
But
well,
as far as losers, Kevin Colbert swore up and down that they were comfortable holding on to Brown unless they received, quote, significant compensation in return. This deal tells a different story. Colbert did everything he could. He literally did everything he could to drive up this, but there's only so much you can do with this. Just the ridiculous way that Antonio Brown acted.
yeah, and it's not like this was the only offer that we're hearing about. I mean, it sounds like they had a chance to have a pretty good one with Buffalo, but you know, Brown did his best to sabotage it. So what can you do about that? I mean,
I mean, Antonio Brown essentially made a no trade clause for himself.
yeah, I
That's it.
guess he's the first person to really, I think, pull it off that way, but because of social media and stuff like that, but and just throwing tantrums. But I mean, I guess that's. I mean, if you're under contract and you're not gonna show up, but then that's up to the team that takes him to whether they want to. You know, if he doesn't show up, then he won't get paid, kind of thing. But I don't know. It's just crazy. Just
I
crazy.
wonder if Antonio Brown will make his own, buy his own little, what are those called, cameo or personalized message or whatever. I wonder
Oh
if he'll
yeah.
buy one for himself. Just, just say, I want to congratulate Antonio Brown
Oh
for
right, right.
a new contract. Boom it.
Talk to himself in the
For
third person.
I wanna congratulate Antonio Brown on the anniversary wedding of his contract
Contract
digitalization.
signing.
Oh, man. Yeah,
But we'll
trading
see.
Brown for only two mid-round picks at significant cost to the team's salary cap shows the Steelers were ready to take the best offer possible, and there weren't many good offers to choose from, possibly because Brown would only accept going to a team ready to pay him. He will cost 21 million on Pittsburgh's cap this year, nearly as much as Ben Roethlisberger.
That's another thing I totally don't understand. If you trade someone the contract, I have no clue how that comes back to the team that traded them. That makes no sense
That's
to
a
me.
stupid. It's just those stupid
Stupid rule.
rules. It's like they try very hard. It's like the rules are designed to not let teams trade. It's like they make it because if you trade like all, yeah, yeah. Whenever you make a trade in the NFL, it's like there's usually some kind of cap hit that gets. It's like
Yeah,
all of the money gets, uh, you know, there's all different things you kind of, and this is why it costs so much against a cap is because I believe it was last year the Steelers wanted to create $10 million or something.
oh yeah, they wanted to free up
They
some
wanted to
of
free
the.
the money, so they reworked the deal.
Yeah,
And
and that's in hindsight, it looks bad, but back then, back then when before he signed that, all you heard was AB saying he wanted to be a career Steeler, so that didn't last very
but
long.
that's it. That's it. What you do is you take the players that you know will be there, that you know will, you go to a Cam Hayward
Yeah,
or someone like that and say, okay, I know you're not going anywhere, so we're gonna rework this deal. So we're basically gonna kick the can, and yeah, we won't pay you much this year, but we're gonna pay you a lot that next year. And this is all cap money, by the way. In actual money, I think they're getting their money, regardless. I think this is just how they rework the cap and stuff like that. So that they said that to Antonio Brown, like, hey, we know you're not going anywhere, so we're gonna rework this contract so
yeah,
you get a big cap hit in 2019. Whoops. Now he is going
yeah.
somewhere, and now they're really screwed.
Yeah, and like I said, up until then, all you would see is posts or him saying, career Steeler, business boom, and blah blah blah, all that kind of crap, and then
Yep.
gets into money
Um,
problems and
yeah.
then taints everything. And
Yep. So the article says Colbert now has to replace Brown's production with far less cap space to do so. Brown certainly deserves his share of the blame in how this relationship deteriorated, but Colbert is the one paying for it. Usually, eating anywhere near this much dead money only happens when teams have to cut some huge personnel mistake, not the league leader in touchdowns. So yeah, you have this dead space, and now you have a big hole to fill. And I saw you. I think you mentioned Golden Tate tweeted the Steelers
Yeah,
like,
see that?
"Hey,
That was kind of
hey."
funny. It was within like an hour. I saw that, and it said like the time when the tweet goes out, and he put
It's
like that
like
little like, icon of him thinking the Steelers. I'm like, geez, that was fast.
it's like if you're single and your neighbor's wife is really hot and they just had a divorce and you come over and say, "Hey, is everything
Yeah,
okay? I just want to see,
pretty much.
just came over for a cup of sugar. Just want to see how everything's
I
going."
wanna
And
we need to. I want to console you, and
right.
let's make something work here. And I know what it's like to be on the outside in Detroit and places like that.
Right.
And I want to play with a guy like Ben.
I personally, that's how I think they should go. I think they should get Golden Tate or someone like that. I also thought John Brown.
Oh yeah, John Brown maybe too, or one
Yeah,
of those guys.
I just don't think a draft pick would be a good idea. Maybe you get a draft pick for the long term. Yeah, you get a wide receiver in the draft for next year or something like that.
Yeah.
But this year, you need someone that's good now, and rookie wide receivers are not good now.
No, typically not. Like we said, Juju is an exception to that. He was one that outplayed a rookie wide receiver by a long shot. So, yeah, if you do something like that, and then I'm waiting to see what they do with the free agency too, and before getting all hysterical, and maybe they could use one of these picks to add to draft to go up in the draft or go down, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, a third is, okay.
That's pretty comparable if you swap picks and send a third too,
Yeah.
Depending on if someone's dropping, or I don't think that might be a little much for maybe doing that with the Bills or a top 10 team, but without getting someone that like Antonio Brown that would help them immediately. But
Well, this is the most important offseason the Steelers have had in a long time. And we'll see. I mean, they have three significant holes to fill: wide receiver, inside linebacker, cornerback. Not to mention all the. I mean, that's the thing. Lost in all this stuff is nobody was talking about all the other issues going on with the Steelers, like paying Bud Dupree $9.5 million or some crap like that. Now they'll have no choice but to rework that contract. Or sign him quote unquote long term, which is just a bunch of BS.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish they would have done something like that and made it like incentive heavy, so they didn't have to pay him $9 million because he's really not worth that. Or just let him go and sign a guy who is on free agency that would perform to that contract.
The role is with the 5th-year contract that if you let it go to the 5th, if you could extend it to a 5th year, but then you have to pay like the average of the top 10 or 20 at the position or something like that, whatever the thing is. So they have no choice but to make it $9.5 million. The choice they have now is they could just rip that up and say, okay, we don't want you just for 2019. We'll sign you to like a 3-year, $15 million contract or something like that.
That's
and then
make it like incentive heavy. So if he performs, it'll make some of that up. You know what I mean? Even if you give him a slight raise, not $9 million, but $6 million a year instead of the 5 or whatever he made, then you know what I mean? Then maybe it'd be worthwhile. I don't mind him as like a backup or in the mix, but they could do so much better for $9 million.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's going to be a very interesting off season.
There's a lot going on, and a lot of people like potential free agents out there. So
he got the off season in after the 2017 season was almost 2 years ago when they got Juju and Connor and TJ Watt in the draft. That was an A+. Last year was a disaster. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, I guess that's up for debate, but it's not. I mean, it didn't look good from the first year, at least.
To me, it was a disaster because and Edmonds seems okay. I'm not saying that draft pick was bad. What I am saying is not adequately replacing Ryan Shazier destroyed the whole defense.
Yeah,
and that is.
Well, I mean, they can only do so much. I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of money. You can't make people sign.
I don't know. I mean, I know there's not a whole lot of Ryan Shazier types out there, but where is the the backup for Dupree? Where is the linebacker depth?
Definitely. No, there's definitely some stuff they could have, probably done better. But as far as like the Shazier thing, that's been tough to work with. Now they actually have some money to do it. They did a few years ago. They tried to do it with signing Hightower, but then they were trying to sign Hightower and have Shazier at that point. So
for whatever reason, they have taken the linebacker position and basically crapped on it. And I mean I'm not saying they didn't address it totally because they got TJ Watt, but what else have they done? Bostic, he's a run stopper. That's it.
I think he was decent, but he wasn't like they need one other guy that's more like a Shazier and not two Bostics like or Vince Williams, you know.
And so now they're. I just have a feeling they're not going to. Apparently, it's either Devin Bush or bust. So, because they're not going to get
unless they trade. Well,
unless there's a trade.
Looked like the Bills deal was trying to get them to move up and get the other dude, but
that would have been awesome. That would have been cool. But I don't even know if they would have got Devin White at number 9.
I don't know. Maybe.
I've seen them go higher than that. So we'll see. It's just going to be an extremely interesting off season, and it really begins. Today's the 10th. Really, it begins Wednesday. Wednesday's the big day that the new league year starts and free agency starts and stuff like that. And we'll see. It's just going to be extremely interesting. And hey, Colbert and Tomlin, whoever the heck makes the decisions on the personnel, it's all on you now. You created this mess, by reworking that contract and giving all that dead cap space. Colbert looks bad and, only getting crappy compensation, not his fault, but this is the situation. Good luck, because, the entire team, the fortunes of the entire team are riding on it. So, no pressure.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, to be fair, at the time, it looked like Brown wasn't saying anything other than I want to be a career Steeler, so
right.
It made sense to do that. And he looked happy when he signed it, and I'm sure he got a lot of it up front. So he was happy, but Beckham ruined it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a Beckham's fault. Paul Zeiss and John Steigerwald are going back and forth, and it's just so.
I can imagine.
So
funny. They're both pretty stubborn at times, so I can imagine.
Steigerwald's whole thing is. I mean, he literally he wrote a book called "Shut Up and Play." Basically, players are just you're just a player. You're under contract. You should do honor the contract. Blah blah blah. Like, that was okay in 1940. It's 2019, bro. Things change.
Yeah, it's like in theory that's always great, and I agree with that. They should play their contract out and stuff, but it's just not happening. These guys get coddled too much, and the agents are just as much to blame as anyone. So. Especially his agent. This is gonna be fun to read up on that and catch up on that.
Somebody just wrote, AB is pulling the equivalent of laying down in the cereal aisle and screaming for Frosted Flakes. That's
pretty good.
That's really good.
It's funny because there's no in between right now. There's people who are kind of like, all right, they did what they could, or there's loud noises, fire, run, jump off the bridge. This is the worst thing ever to happen to contracts.
And then wait till, Shannon Sharp and all the national people get the. I mean, it's. Even I saw the Pirates guy was still blaming Ben. Like, know what? Screw you.
Who was blaming Ben? Who was that?
It's that the new guy, new bias, whatever.
Oh.
And Paul Steigerwald was going back and forth with him too, so it's like Paul Steigerwald. I'm sorry, Paul. Okay,
John
Paul Steigerwald. No, Paul Zeiss was going back and forth with him. It doesn't help the situation that there actually is a Paul Steigerwald.
But right.
Maybe because
he's getting involved.
Yeah, maybe it's actually 5:47 a.m. and not 6:40, but it says 6:47 a.m. and we lost an hour of sleep and
and all this nonsense is
right
scrambling everyone's heads up.
But anyway, okay. Well, I feel a little bit better. So
a little bit, slightly.
Go back to bed.
We're gonna have to deal with still the all the people are saying it's the worst thing to happen.
Oh, it's just starting. It's just starting. This is going to be, It's going to be a crazy day. It's going to be a crazy Monday. It's just going to be. There'll be lots
I,
to talk about. That's for sure.
yeah, we should just all leave. I think on the point of like what else could they do really?
Let's just